Click, 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 cameras are everywhere. Whether you have a digital camera, film camera, or just a camera on your cell phone, we are constantly surrounded by photography. Have you ever wondered how a camera came about? I would like you to think about how many times a day you either take a picture or look through pictures either on your phone, computer, or social networking sites. For the next few minutes, I will deliver information about photography and high-tech digital cameras. First, I will tell you about the history of photography and how the camera was invented. Next, I will speak about the most influential photographers and their specialties. Finally, I will tell you about the latest and greatest high-tech digital camera inventions. I will begin by explaining what photography is and how it all started and the original inventor of the camera. Throughout the history of photography, there are many prominent people along the way. According to Analog Photography History, in 1824, a man named Joseph Niepce invented the first camera and took the world's first picture. Niepce passed away in 1827, and a friend of his, Louis Daguerre, was able to continue his work. Daguerre no longer continued the use of film strips. He innovated a new way to coat light-sensitive plates. The result of the new process was a set of photographs called daguerreotypes. In an effort to improve photography even more, Daguerre invented new and improved ways to advance the technology. Daguerre started coating his film plates with silver halide as opposed to the bitumen that Niepce used. Although this process was better than Niepce's, it still took too long to expose the film. It would take hours to days at a time just to complete one picture. Once again, wishing to improve the photography process, Daguerre came up with a new way to speed up the exposure time. He began to coat his plates with a new mixture of silver bromide and silver iodide. William Talbot was able to solve the dilemma of not being able to make multiple copies of a single print. He came up with a new process of developing film called Talbotite, which he named after himself. William Talbot invented the first negatives that would be developed in a darkroom into positive photographs. Understanding the history of photography can help you appreciate some of the most influential photographers in our world. There have been numerous influential photographers that have helped pioneer different types of photography in many different time periods. According to Professional Photographers magazine, Richard Avedon was the most influential photographer of all time. Richard was an American photographer. He was born in the year 1923 and died in the year 2004. Avedon was a modern photographer who was a charming, sophisticated man. He had the great ability to cross photographic genres. Avedon had many influences on the photography world, which included the large format portrait style with the stark background, his use of two images to tell one portrait story, and his use of strobe lights in fashion. The world's second most influential photographer was W. Eugene Smith. Smith was also an American photographer. He was born in the year 1918 and died in the year 1978. Smith was intense and at times obsessed with his work. Smith helped establish the photo story and the power of black and white printing. The third most influential photographer was Helmut Newton. Newton was a German photographer. He was born in the year 1920 and died in the year 2004. Newton created erotically charged and powerful images of women. Newton also developed the use of ring flash in fashion images. The three most influential photographers leads us to the three most high-tech digital cameras and their capabilities. There has been a rich amount of technology out there that has tremendously impacted the high-tech digital cameras. These cameras all serve unique purposes and are highly technical. According to latest Tech and Gadget News, the Speed of Light camera is a newly designed high-tech camera capable of recording light traveling from one point to another. The camera is able to operate like this due to the shutter speed of 1 trillion exposures per second. This Speed of Light camera was developed at the MIT Media Lab. Another newly developed high-tech digital camera is the Phantom 1610. It is capable of shooting 1 million frames per second. According to Phantom Camera Products, the Phantom V1610 is an excellent tool for researchers, scientists, and engineers who need to capture high-resolution images at ultra-high speeds. The human eye camera is a speedy robotic camera that mimics the human eye. German researchers at the Technical University of Munich developed the human eye camera. The camera mount features degrees of movement and can flick around at a rapid 2,500 degrees per second. The system, propped on a person's head, uses a custom-made eye tracker to monitor the person's eye movements. The human eye camera precisely reproduces those movements using a super-fast actuator-driven mechanism with yaw, pitch, and roll rotation like a human eyeball. By offering information about the history of photography, the most influential photographers, and high-tech digital cameras, you now have a deeper understanding on the world of photography. Now I would like to bring my speech to a conclusion. Let's review the important features of photography. I've discussed the history of photography and the inventor of the first camera, Joseph Niepce. I've attempted to provide you with the three most influential photographers of our time. I've also discussed a few high-tech digital cameras that are out there today. Comparing the first camera in the 1800s to the extremely high-tech cameras that are out there today, it is easy to see how far our camera technology has come. Today, cameras are quick, easy, and efficient. People depend on cameras to document their everyday lives. People also use photographs on social media sites to inform others of what they are doing. Photographs have now become a form of communication. Photography and high-tech digital cameras are extremely important in our everyday lives.